Greater Good Radio. Connect, learn, heal, and grow.
I was looking for my own inspiration to try to connect it to Aloha. And my grandmother, before she passed, had shared a bunch of stories with me about our family. And sometimes she would talk and I would write, other times she would write it down, but I had kind of compiled them into this booklet. And I hadn't looked at it for a while, actually. But as we're getting ready for this campaign, I went back and looked at those stories. And I came across what she had told me about her father, my great grandfather, who it turns out is the first person on either side of my family to come to Hawaii. And this story I found to be remarkable. So the story is he leaves Hiroshima, Japan at around 14 or 15 years old. This is 1890. He leaves the entire family behind. He comes by himself to work on the plantation in Maui. So he gets off the boat in Kahului and he starts working that plantation, and he lasts only about 3 days on the plantation because it was way more brutal than he was expecting. It was not as it was advertised in Japan, right? So he runs away, and somehow he makes his way from Kahului to Hana. And in 1890, obviously, it was by horse or by foot, right? And he lives in Hana for 10 years. And my grandma describes it, the whole family used to talk about it as all the time when dad lived with the Hawaiians, because he was taken in by a Hawaiian family and he lived with them for 10 years. He learned how to speak Hawaiian. He learned how to dance hula. He learned how to imu a pig. 10 years later, at the age of 25, he moves back to Kahului and he meets my great grandma, who herself is just coming off the boat, also from Japan. And that's how our family starts in Hawaii. But I reflected on that and I thought, that is incredible, because here he is. He checks all the boxes for being the least desirable demographic in society. He's homeless. He's an immigrant. He's a teenager. He's a boy. Doesn't speak the language, doesn't know the culture. He gets off the boat and he's taken in, he's adopted by a family and lives with them for 10 years in 1890, right? I said, where else in the world would that happen besides Hawaii? And I did some homework about what was happening in the world at that time. On the continent, around that time, Congress was reauthorizing the Chinese Exclusion Act, right, to keep Asians out. South Africa was setting up the precursors of apartheid, Kefir districts in South Africa. Anti-Semitism was becoming a thing in Europe, right? If that kid had gotten off the boat anywhere else in the world in 1890, he probably wouldn't have made it, you know? But in Hawaii, there was that spirit of no matter how foreign, no matter how alien, no matter how unknown you are to me, there's still a connection. I take you in, I make you part of my family, you know? And that spirit still exists today. Anyway, to go back to your question, that's an example to me of a really powerful story that motivates me. It motivated my work in Kanu. It's part of the reason why I started spending time on the street after I left Kanu, really spending time in homeless encampments and getting to know folks on the street, because it wasn't so much that I cared about homelessness or people experiencing homelessness. I do, but I really feel a deep connection to that culture of aloha and how special it is in Hawaii, how important it is. It has an important place in the world. And I was looking for a way to help that along, to try to keep that alive, you know.
If you resonate with Greater Good Radio, please join our community at www.greatergoodradio.com, where you can get access to exclusive content and offerings. Hope to see you soon.